Thank you so much for being here today.
Happy to be here with you.
Great. So I want to start by having you tell us a little bit about what experience or insight prompted you to start your company.
Why entrepreneurship? So many problems to solve on the continent. And the continent gives you an opportunity to be a trailblazer, gives you an opportunity to be an innovator, creator, to create a path where nothing exists, and then also create a pipeline for other people. I see my entrepreneurship journey as a mission to give permission to other people to dream. I see my role as an enabler of society. Africa has the youngest population in the world. Nigeria has the largest part of its population as young people. Someone's got to create jobs for these young people. And so when you connect with purpose, which is in solving problems, in innovating and creating something, you have a whole system that needs hands, you know, and then you can employ those young people. You know, I like to say that Nigeria and many countries on the continent, it's like a startup. You know, there's so many opportunities, so many resources, so many potentials. You now need the people to go in and take those opportunities, those resources, and create businesses that will then open up more opportunities. And also to create the value chain. Because sometimes you find that on the continent, you know, the resources is there, but there's no value chain. And it's the value chain that creates the employment. It's the value chain that gives you the highest profitability. You know, so these are things that we're you know, day to day embracing on the continent, in different countries, from Ghana to Nigeria, Senegal to Egypt, and we're getting somewhere, particularly in a new world where, you know, social media has made the world a smaller place, you know, and made business quite easier, you know, to do, partnerships and connections, you know, easier. So if I look back, will I do it again? I would. It's 20 years this year of my entrepreneurial journey. And the business that I founded, which I handed over to a CEO last year, is 18 this year. Red for Africa.
Congrats.
It's 18 this year,
Now tell me about the founding story for that. Tell me how it got from an idea in your head to this company that's now 18 years old.
We won't leave here today, you know. But it was just being passionate about, you know, telling stories. The passion began from me, you know, believing that we needed to have alternate stories to what was being peddled as our reality. One, for young people. For the longest time, young people were presented as, you know, lack of vision, not capable, have no character, have no competence. And I was meeting young people who I thought had competence, capacity, and character, and I wanted to change that narrative. I also was dealing with a situation where Nigeria or maybe other countries in Africa were seen in a certain way, and I wanted to change that stereotype. So it was two-pronged. One part is how we see ourselves, telling the stories of a balanced narrative, and the narrative that pumps and gives you inspiration to wake up with hope to do. And then the other part is telling the world who we truly are. Yes, there's this part, but there is also this part. You know, it began from that since I was about 9. You know, and then when I was about, I think 15, you know, started trying to, you know, go into the media space, and I found a partner, and it kind of began a small company. And then in 2003, we were, I think, breaking up the no, in 2005, we metamorphosed into Red. We had a new partner. He was also passionate about storytelling. What we wanted to do was simply to use the media to change the world. But as a business, we then created a marketing consultancy, such that we also then can make money. You know, because passion must also be fueled with money. You must be able to pay your bills. So while we're passionate about changing the narrative, in inspiring people, we're also doing a great job in selling, in, you know, marketing. And that marketing company eventually evolved into a political consultancy. So at some point we were called the Axelrod of Africa because we then, you know, also worked with presidents. We ran major campaigns. We ran the campaign for President Goodluck Jonathan in Nigeria. We ran the campaign for President Muhammadu Buhari of Nigeria, President Macky Sall of Senegal, President Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana. So in actual fact, as I speak to you now, we have 3 presidents in office that our company ran their campaigns.
Wow.
As I speak to you now, so that's the commercial side of our business.
Yeah.
But the real passion side is creating, content and platforms that empower young people and also employ them.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of empowering and also creating content, I know you are really passionate about the state of women entrepreneurship on the continent, so much so that you wrote a book about it, which I believe you have here right now that I would love for you to show off. Tell me about the creation of this book and how it came about.
It was simple. It was a simple idea. I wanted to write to my goddaughters.
Okay.
It was almost like me writing a letter to my goddaughters. I'm aware that I live in a world where people tell women what they can be and cannot be, especially African women. You're black, you're a woman, and then you're dreaming. No,
right.
Black woman, African. No, you can't. You don't have a right to it. But I know that's not true, and that's the power of storytelling. I know that before the young women of today were born, there were women from their lineage who did not need permission to become. And my job was to write the stories to my goddaughters. But along the line, I thought, hey, why not gift this book to girls around the world, especially African girls around the world, to know that there are women who eat fufu like them, who eat chakalaka, and nyamachoma like them, who have become great, who've broken boundaries and crushed ceilings. And so before the world tells my goddaughters, your daughter, many young girls who they can be, when they see these stories, they know that the world is their oyster. And this is important because there's so many research that shows, for example, that Africa loses $95 billion annually because of gender inequality.
Wow.
There's research that shows that GDP grows by 0.37% when a girl child goes to school. There's many research that shows that businesses with female executives, tend to be more profitable. There research, all kinds of research that also show that, male founders get access to funds quicker than female founders. But there's proof that shows that female founders, do very well in business. So it's all of that. I just want to see a better world. And so my passion began from trying to, create a spotlight and put young people on. And then from there, it expanded to gender, to women, because if we have a fairer world, I think resources will go around. I think we'll have a better place to live.
Absolutely. And fantastic mission. And that I want to end with, how can we solve this? How can we make sure more women thrive on this continent? And what advice do you have for young women who are trying to?
Do not be afraid. I think fear is a killer for anybody. Do not be afraid. If you dream, run with it. If you aspire, to do something, go for it. You will get no. Rejection does not define your life. It's just one moment that prepares you to go and work harder for the next. So be fearless. Women, there's research that shows that men apply for jobs that they are 60% qualified for. Women wait until they are 90%. So go for that job. Go in afraid. When they say do it afraid, that's what it means. Go in and do it. And bank on ideas. More women should put their money on other women. Because men put their money on men. For it to change the game.
Yeah.
More women have to put their money on other women. More women have to fund other women in politics. Do not let women go and start begging men to fund their political careers. They don't want you in the room. Why should they give you the money? So more women have to also take the risk. Women are great money managers. Women are great at spreading money and making sure that the community is fine. And that's a great value. We just need to a bit more in terms of being able to support, women in other ways. And I think generally, everyone needs to bank on ideas from Africa. IP is the biggest thing now from the continent. Music, our movies, our content creation, our fashion. And that is why last year I launched AW Network, which is a media and tech investment firm where we bank on ideas.
Yeah.
If you have a good film, you have a good script, you have a tech business, you're a content creator, send in your application, follow awnetwork.co on Instagram, or find me at Adebola Lagos. We're looking for ideas on the continent to put money in, because people do not give money to media, but if people can give money to tech, there's a market now. I mean, Burna Boy is performing around the world. Licensing, soundtrack. There's so many opportunities.
Yeah.
There's advertising money to be made, and so this is a sector that you need to pay attention to.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here and
Thanks
for your amazing insights. And congrats on the book.
Thank you. Thanks very much.